In this video, I'm going to show you how to quickly get started in Factory Superstar. So I've gone to app.factorysuperstar.com and registered and logged in. It takes me to this page. This is the dashboard. There's not much on it just now as we haven't done anything, but it'll be useful later. You can get back to the dashboard from anywhere by clicking on the logo here. So first, let's make sure that the company settings are sensible. So we click on our name and we click on settings, then click the edit button here and go through these settings, making sure that they make sense for your business. You can always change them later, but it's often easier to get them as close as possible at the start. Next, I'm going to quickly show you the default settings. There are default settings for location, category, supplier, process, courier, sales channel, and labels. If you're just trying out Factory Superstar, you can use the default ones, but when you use it properly, you'll want to add some fields in these categories to suit your business. So to change them, you just go through them. So for example, if we want to add a courier other than the default courier, then we can click Add Courier and add UPS and submit, and then we can use that as a courier, and just do the same for sales channels, for suppliers, for categories and locations, and then do the same for processes and hourly rates which fall under production. So processes can just be what a particular workstation does. So for example, you might have a wood cutting process or a metal fabrication or welding process, and hourly rates are used by each process and are used to calculate how much in labour that it costs to make each component. Now you'll probably want to just get started and use Factory Superstar to make something. The easiest way to do this is to go to our help site, so click on your name and then click on help and find an example there similar to whatever it is you make and adapt that to your needs. We're adding new examples all the time, so if you're stuck or you can't find what you're looking for, just get in touch and we'll make a new example for you if necessary. Okay, so after you've added some products to make or sell, you can make and sell them directly through sales orders. So you go to sales and then add sales order, or you can create production orders, so production and then add production order if you're going to make batches for stock. I've gone ahead now and added a few orders and a few non-default categories, locations, etc. So I can show you the next stage in digitizing your workshop. So I've gone to production, then production orders, and I'll add a production order. This example is for a tabletop because we developed Factory Superstar for our furniture making business initially, but you can of course use it to make anything, so bicycles, candles, aeroplanes, whatever. So I'll click. The due by date determines the urgency of the production order and allows Factory Superstar to prioritize it against your other orders. So a length, this is just how it was set up. This is our tabletop here, and you can see here that Factory Superstar has calculated exactly what needs to be made and purchased, as well as how much it will cost to make, and the color coding means that it has automatically assigned tasks to the workshop. So it's yellow means it's in progress and it's in the wood cutting stage. I'm going to add a note to this process saying this is a sample cut it extra precise. And I'll come back to this in a second. You can see the notes here. Now I'm just having a look to see if there's anything we're out of stock on, which will prevent the order from being made. And you can also look at the dashboard or the inventory. Primarily I'm looking at the icon here, which is purchased. That means it's purchased from supplier, and just making sure all of these are green, which means I don't have to do anything more. And that's it for the office input on this order. This is the actual wood cutting stage in the workshop. You can see the saws here. So this screen is the screen that shows Factory Superstar, and this item here is what we've just added in the office, so it's the tabletop. So Factory Superstar instantly assigns work to the workshop.
The red note here says this is a sample, cut it extra precise, as we added in the office. So when we added the item from the office computer, or any computer for that matter, we also had the ability to tell the team in the workshop some specific piece of information. This sort of setup where Factory Superstar calculates what is required, checks if it's in stock, and tells your team in the workshop what to do is what you want. The guys working at this station work from top to bottom in that list, with the colours denoting the level of urgency, which you can change in company settings. When they've made whatever it is they've been told to make, they click this big green button and the system will organise the next step, which in this case is the wood finishing process, which you can see in that screen down there, which is off at the moment. The actual screen on the wall uses a small, inexpensive computer and just runs off a normal internet browser. It's usually easier just to use a tablet PC like this one here and just use the internet browser in it to log on to Factory Superstar.
To set up screens in the workshop, like I showed you just there, you can add what we call operator accounts to your Factory Superstar. So you go to Settings and then go to Users and click Add User. The user doesn't need to have an email address, just a username here. And once you add in the details and select Operator and click Submit, it will then ask you to set a password. Once the account's been made, you can then set the account to show only a specific process. So the screen I showed you in the workshop is logged into an account which is set to show the wood cutting process only. So this is the account, and you'll see here it's an operator account and it is restricted to the wood cutting process. You can change the process by clicking edit and just selecting your other process. So it's really easy to set up screens in your workshop, and you don't need any specialised knowledge or computer programs. And you can see the help files for a bit more information. I'm going to just show you the inventory quickly as it's central to Factory Superstar. So I'll click here, and every item that we purchase from a supplier and every variation of item that we make in-house is included on this inventory. You can search and filter it using the part at the top of the page. You do a lot from this adjust column. You type a number, then you press tab on your keyboard and it cycles to the next item. This way it makes it really quick to reorder components and make stock counts. The numbers that you enter can be used to set minimum stock levels here. So if the net stock, which is this column, drops below the minimum stock level, then Factory Superstar will highlight it in red and the dashboard will tell you to reorder. You can also use the numbers as a stock count. So you click the stock count button and the stock will instantly update. Or you can use them to quickly add purchase and production orders. So we see here that this chair is low in stock. It's 3, which is below our minimum stock of 4. So I need to reorder some. I say I want to order 5 more chairs and then click the add to reorder button. I then fill in the details, and the details would have been pre-populated if there were previous purchase orders for this item made through Factory Superstar, and at the same time I'll order these items from the supplier. The information that we input is used by Factory Superstar to learn more about the cost history and alerts you if an item you've ordered is overdue to arrive. You arrive here at the purchase orders page, which you can get to by going to inventory purchase orders, and you'll see that the item that we purchased is due in 14 days. When it physically arrives at your premises, you can click Mark Arrived and the inventory will update accordingly. If the new stock is required for any orders, Factory Superstar will automatically assign it and tell your team to start work if needed. You can then see the cost history of the items when you click on each item. The last thing I'll show you is how to dispatch a sales order. So you've added a sales order and all the items in the order are ready. And remember that you can manually change what stage each subcomponent is at by clicking on the drop down and clicking the green buttons that appear. You can tell Factory Superstar that you have booked dispatch in with one of the couriers that you've added here, and the dispatch status will change to booked. Then you click on the dispatch screen and you can use Factory Superstar to generate manifests here if you need to. When the order has physically left your premises, you can click this big green dispatch button and the sales order will disappear from the pending sales order page, and you can view any sales orders that have already been completed by either searching for them or clicking the view all button. Finally, we'd recommend that you just have a play around with Factory Superstar to get familiar with it. You'll find there are lots of features, including the ability to analyse lots of different parts of your business performance. We realise that getting set up with a new system can be daunting for many users, so have a look at our other help files and videos and feel free to get in touch if you need to.